Welcome, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to another live space with Oliver Velez. Of course, my name is Oliver Velez, and let's talk Bitcoin. Let's talk our favorite topic here today. I hope you all have been doing well. I haven't been doing these live sessions with any degree of regularity as of late, but I have missed you in a way. In a way, I've also enjoyed being away from some of you guys. I have to be honest. I have to keep it real. I'm still doing this through a platform, guys, which I believe is still having difficulty with me seeing all of your comments. I'm never quite sure why I am able to see some people's comments in while not being able to see others. But I'm going to try this a different way. I'm sort of logged in on a different one of my accounts here, one I haven't used in many years. And I will see. Diego says, nice shirt, boss. Yeah. Are you having fun playing with your Bitcoins? It's not plural here on the shirt. But I will say that, I'm not quite sure. This interesting fact. In the old days, based on all of my reading, my deep dive into Bitcoin, guys, over the last 5 years or so, I have probably studied Bitcoin well over 10,000 hours. I mean, literally hours upon hours upon hours every single day for the last 10 years. And what I actually tried to do to really put my hands around this so foreign of an asset, so foreign of a thing, is to really go back in the past. And I tried to read every single comment, every single forum, every single post, every single tweet, every single response. I tried to watch every single video, every single interview. I tried to read every single article, every single blog. I tried to do my best to just cover whether it was stupid or not. And I can't say that I've captured all of it, but the vast majority of it, certainly. And one of the things I noticed, one of many things I noticed, is the common use of Bitcoin in the plural in the old days. So people did refer to Bitcoin as Bitcoins. And so whenever today, that's not so much the case. The plural nature of the coins are inferred in the term Bitcoin today. So Bitcoin is both singular as well as it is plural. But in the past, that wasn't the case. It was Bitcoins. And largely the reason for this is because no one back in the past would ever say to you, I've got one Bitcoin. That's like someone today saying, I've got one Satoshi. Hoo-hoo, one Satoshi, I'm in. No one would ever respect that because a single Bitcoin was fractions of a fraction of a fraction of a penny. And so to say I have one would be dumb. And so no one referred to Bitcoin in the singular. It was Bitcoins. And so if this shirt were to be made in the past, it would say, are you having fun with your Bitcoins? Now, with that being said, I will say this, that whenever if I engaged in a conversation with someone who actually refers to Bitcoin in the plural, my first instinct is this is an OG, or this is someone who actually got introduced to Bitcoin in some way or another, all the way back in the past. They use it in the plural, and virtually no one in the most recent years uses Bitcoin in the plural. So whenever I hear someone refer to it as Bitcoins, I pretty much get the view right off the bat, and I'm right more often than not, that they've been involved in some way all the way back in the past. So that's just an interesting fact. But to follow up a bit more on this concept that Bitcoins used to be referred to as plural, this is a very important point, in my opinion, to understand, because we are experiencing the same thing now, but we're experiencing it at the next level. You see, the next level under one Bitcoin is Satoshis. So no one really refers to what they have in the singular when it comes to Satoshis. You know, I've got 2 million Bitcoin, 2 million Satoshis, I've got this, whatever, but no one says I have one Satoshi. Now, of course, when we refer to fees being paid on the base layer, perhaps, but in reality, it's not thought of in the singular. That's why we refer to them for short as sats, or we refer to them in whole as Satoshis, not Satoshi. Today, we refer to Bitcoin as Bitcoin, not Bitcoins. But in the past, no one referred to it as Bitcoin. It was always Bitcoins. Today, Satoshis are at that level. We don't refer to Satoshi. We refer to Satoshis. We don't say sat. We say sats. But there will be a day in the future where we'll go to the next level and you will be referring to Satoshi. You will be using that because we'll be at that next level. And it's a very powerful realization when you understand that we're going there, that there was a time in your lifetime when it was normal for someone to have 20,000 Bitcoin. That was normal. It was no big deal to have someone pay 10,000 Bitcoin for two pizzas. That was normal. The dude probably had hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. What's 10,000? Right? And now that is not the case. But now what is the case is the fact that we have millions of Satoshis. That's normal. Some of you have billions of Satoshis. Some of you have millions of Satoshis. That's normal. So to pay for someone with a billion Satoshis to pay 2 million Satoshis for something, well, let's not go there. For someone that has, I don't know, 20 million Satoshis, to pay 1 million Satoshis for something, it's a few $100s, right? That's not so out of the norm. But in the future, you paid 1 million Satoshis for that? You paid 10,000 Bitcoin for that? It's the same shit, just at a different level. Many of you are disrespecting Satoshis today the same way because the US dollar denominated unit at the current time, the value via the eyes of the US dollar is small. You're making the same error that the people in the past made because the US dollar value of the unit of one full Bitcoin was small. So it was disrespected. We now have more information, more knowledge about what this is and where this is going than those people in the past. If anything, they have more of an excuse to have gotten it wrong than you do. So let us try not to make this error by disrespecting the Satoshi level, because there will come a day in your lifetime where you will knock yourself in the head for disrespecting the Satoshi level, by treating it like it's nothing just because at the current moment, the US dollar has not truly understood what this thing is. And remember, any monetary, you are viewing the value of something that is infinitely valuable, but you are viewing it through a very finite lens called the US dollar. That lens is broken, cracked, dirty, old, falling apart. And you respect the view of that dirty, broken, old, falling apart window. You respect that view more than you respect what this thing is. And this is a grand error Fuck what the US dollar says. We know Bitcoin is far more valuable than, where is it at now? Than $61,000 per unit. The same way Bitcoin was more valuable when it was at $10,000 a unit, and at $1,000 a unit, and at $100 a unit. Warren Buffett, the famed Bitcoin hater, actually had a very potent comment that became somewhat popular. And it was, I believe it went something like, value is the price you pay for it. That's the part of that quote that means the most to me. Price is what you get. Value is the price you pay for, something to that effect. You guys know what I'm talking about. My point is that there can be a disconnect between the USD denominated price of something and the value of something. You can't tell me, people, listen to me carefully. You can't tell me that the only network in the history of the world that has never been down over the past 10 years, not for a second, not for a nanosecond, doesn't have almost infinite value in today's digital world. There is not a single bank, a single financial institution, a single government, a single organization, a single group, a single corporation, a single big tech company that can boast our network has never been down, not even for a nanosecond, over the past 10 years. Would you imagine if Google had a network and they could boast, we have the only network on planet Earth that's never been down? What would that do to their value? What would the value of that thing be? How many more companies all over the world would want access to that network? Every single company in the world would want access to Google's only network in the world that's never been down in 10 years, not even for a nanosecond. Every company would want access. Every government would want access. Every organization, every group, every government agency, everybody that wanted certainty and security would be seeking access to Google's network. It would make Google almost infinitely valuable. What if Microsoft had access to the only network on planet Earth that has never been hacked? Do you realize that Bitcoin is the only network of value? Now, I have a network that's never been hacked, but my network doesn't have value. I'm talking about a network of value. It's the only network of value that's never been hacked. Do you know that banks get hacked by the hour? There's not a single day that a big bank does not get hacked. There's not a single hour. Do you realize this? That they're constantly hacked. During the time that we started this live to now, do you know how many hacks went on in your bank? Successfully. Every single hour, 24 hours a day. Successful hacks. There is no network other than Bitcoin that can boast never been hacked ever and never will. Now, imagine if Microsoft came up with a network that not only was never hacked, could never be hacked for eternity. Do you know that every single government, nation, state, corporation, mega corporation, family office, every single group, every single organization, every single entity, every single person of value that has value on this planet would want access to that network. Every single one of them. Not one would say, I don't want access. I don't want access to the most secure. I'd rather access to the 27th secure one. Oh, I don't want the top secure one. I don't want my value protected by number 1. I want it protected by 57. No, it would make Microsoft's value infinite. But because we own the network, it's overlooked right now, just right now. You and I own it. We don't control it, but we own it. There's a difference. All right? We don't control it, but we own it. We have access to it, and we have access to it without permission. We have access to it without having to sign documents or to enter into a contract for using it. It's powerful. But my main point in discussing this, people, is that you can't tell me that Bitcoin, the most secure network the world has ever had access to, the only network on planet Earth that's never gone down, not for a single second, not for a nanosecond in the last 10 years. You can't tell me that that's not infinitely valuable in a world that is becoming more and more digitized by the second. You can't tell me that. There is no price for that. There's no price for absolute security. There is no price for absolute safety. There is no price for total permissionlessness, censorshipless. There's no price you can put on that. It's freaking infinite. And this is one of the reasons why Bitcoin will trend higher forever. Because every single hour, every single day, every single week, every single month, there's somebody new, groups of new people who say, wow, and realize exactly what I'm talking to you about today. There's a new millionaire. There's a new organization. There's a new corporation. There's a new group. There's a new family office. There's a new institution. There's a new individual. There's a new church. You understand? That realizes that every hour, every day, every week, the number doesn't go up, it goes down, and it will go up forever. This is what I feel that so many people don't understand. They're so, and in a way, I do understand why they don't understand it, because we've never had something that is this clear before. But we have had this in unclear ways. It's just that people don't stop to think about it. And that's my job, to make you stop and think about this, people, right? So I want you to think about this for a second. When I tell people that Bitcoin will go up forever, it's incredulous to them. It's like, Oliver, come on, dude. I know you're a moon boy, but come on, can you pipe it back in? Nothing goes up forever. I'm like, what are you talking about? They said, well, Oliver, nothing goes up forever. And I'm like, duh, what planet do you live on? Like, where have you been? Have you just visited us from a different galaxy? And if so, how's the weather there? Like, what do you mean nothing goes up forever? Almost everything does. Has the population of this planet been going up forever? Yes. And if the population goes up forever, then doesn't that automatically mean that the adoption of a valuable thing will go up forever? That adoption will never stop? We're at 8 billion people today. It is estimated that by the end of 2050, we will have more than 10 billion people on this earth. That's 2 billion more people that have yet to have exposure to Bitcoin. First of all, only half of 1% of the current 8 billion have access to Bitcoin. So we got a long way to go, but there's Bitcoiners that are born every day. Do you understand that there's 250,000 net new human beings that join us every single day? Do you realize this, people? I'm talking about net. So I know some people leave us, bye, go to heaven. Some people may not go to heaven. So I know they leave, but then others come. There's the net, it's a net positive number of about 250,000. 250,000 more human beings every single day of your life until you die. That number goes up forever, people, which means that there's new Bitcoiners born every single hour, every single minute, every single day, every single week, every single month, making Bitcoin more and more scarce per human being. If it's scarce at 8 billion people, it's more scarce at 10 billion. It's more scarce at 20 billion, right? What do you mean things don't go up forever? Listen, people might say, well, Oliver, well, I'm not talking about the population. I'm just talking about, technologies and things like that. Okay. All right. I see that you may have just visited us, or you may just be one of us and just have never in your life decided to study a little bit of history. So I'll help you out with this. Okay. The airplane, commercial air flight, came into existence in this world around the turn of the century, 1900, the turn of the last century, the turn of the 20th century, around 1900, 1901, 1903, something like that. Has the adoption of commercial air flight been going up forever? Yes, since 1901. 1900, 1901, 1903, pick your year. Forever. Let me give you another statistic. It's been almost 125 years, and only 1 in every 4 human beings have been on a commercial flight. 1 in every 4 human beings on Earth have been on a commercial flight. Do you understand the future potential in commercial air flight? There's way more potential in front of it than behind it. It has way more growth, way more adoption today, 123 years later. It has more potential in front of it than behind it. The internet. Is every single person on planet Earth using the internet? No. Is there more potential for more users to come on board? Yes. Not only people born, the 250,000 people born, new people born every day, they are internet users, all of them. So not only will adoption go up for them, I'm telling you, adoption will continue to go up to the existing human beings that are already here. Is car ownership, car adoption going up? Yes. Forever. So then people say, well, Oliver, all right, okay. I'm not really talking about population, and I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about technologies like that. I'm talking about financial markets, Oliver. Okay, financial markets. Okay. I would say that out of all the financial markets that we know today, I would say that bonds are probably the oldest market. Yes. How old is bonds? Okay. It's definitely more than 300. It's more like 600. But let's say, but the bond market is over 350 years old. It's been going up. for 300 freaking years. The bond market has done nothing but gone up for 300 years. Well, Oliver, what about the stock market? Okay, stock market's what, 280 years? More or less? The US stock market, 280 years? Buttonwood tree on Wall Street, It's been going up for how long? 280 freaking years. Apple's been going up since 1975. Microsoft's been going up since 1980, went public 1986. Google's been going up. Amazon's been going up for what, 27 years? Google's been going up for 25 years. Dude, gold's been going up gold's at all-time new highs, been going up for 6,000 years. Silver, 9,000 years. Guys, because the human race rises forever, this will never stop. Not in my lifetime, not in your lifetime, not anybody's lifetime. If it's something of value, it will go up forever. Forever. It's simple maths. And I'm always telling people, listen, Bitcoin became the best performing asset the world has ever known. It is the first asset to reach $1 trillion so rapidly. It has conquered and destroyed virtually every single metric that we hold dear as a human race. It's broken every record. It's the best humans have ever been able to see or have exposure to. And it's done all of that on a little pinch of adoption. Half of 1%. I want you to think about this. It has trounced the equity market, the bond market, the real estate market, the collectibles market, the gold market, every market that human beings have ever held dear, have ever considered to be important. It has destroyed them. And it's done so with just a little tiny pinch, half of 1%. Can you freaking imagine 3%? Holy shit. 5%? 60%. It's just freaking stupefying. Do you understand? It's stupefying. And for the first time, we have an asset that every human being, actually with or without, but let's just say with a cell phone, can hold. Guys, every human being can't have Apple. Every human being can't have Microsoft. Every human being can't have NVIDIA on their freaking phone. Every human being can't have gold. Every human being can't have silver. Every human being can't have a bond. Every human being can't have property, a real estate. The only thing of value that every human being can have, there's only one, it's Bitcoin. You don't think that's a big thing? You don't think that, wait a minute, the best performing one everyone can have? The one that no one has ever hacked and can't hack, everyone can have? The one that has never gone down in 10 years, the only one, everyone can have? The one that no human being, no government, no corporation, no big tech company, no group, no government three-letter agency can touch, hold, take, steal, confiscate, halt, or stop. You mean everyone can have? You don't think that shit's gonna catch on like wildfire? If the things that a small number of people can own, Microsoft, became the most valuable, amongst the most valuable things on planet Earth, imagine the thing that every human being can have that has a cell phone. Do you realize that there are more cell phones than working toilets on planet Earth? There are people that don't have a toilet, but they have 2 cell phones. It's crazy. Guys, I only get a few of your comments. Oh, yeah, I was going to check to see if I get all of them here. Let me see. I don't know. So, I was trying to say, it's the same to me. I was actually trying to say that, Eduardo says, man, it's nice listening to you and seeing your eyes. Yeah, I usually pay the price for this, man, not having my shades on. I usually have like headaches later because of the bright lights. But Violetta's asking me, can I see the chat? But no. But what I do see your comments here on my platform. Like I'll show you. Like I see yours. Violetta right there. See yours. All right. But I just don't see it so much on X. But I do get some of yours. And I think maybe I don't know if it's those who just follow me and have notifications checked or something. I don't know. But anyway. Nice shirt. Thank you. All right. So, these are just amongst a few of the guys. I got to open this door. It's so super hot. So, guys, these are just amongst some of the reasons why shorting Bitcoin is dumb. Like, I mean, not just dumb. And shorting for most people are actually dumb anyway. And this is coming from a natural shorter, guys. I mean, I would say that in my 40-year career, I've shorted on average about 88% of the time from a short-term perspective. From a long-term perspective, I almost never short. But because it mathematically doesn't make sense. People fail to understand that the math behind shorting is not in your favor. So as an example, the maximum return you can ever get on a short is 100%. But that's only a theoretical return, right? So for instance, if I short a stock at $2 a share, the maximum I can get is $2. But that is assuming that the shares are going to go to 0. But that's virtually impossible because there's always some value. So if I short Apple at, let's say, if I short Apple at Apple's $226 a share, if I short Apple at 226, the maximum theoretically I can gain is $226. But is that really the maximum? No, because there's no way Apple's going to 0. So now we have to go up the scale. So then is 90% the maximum I can get shorting Apple? No, Apple's not dropping to $26. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. All right. Is $40? Can Apple drop to 40? No, not going to happen. Now, when does it start to get, well, maybe Apple's 226. maybe 100, maybe in a very severe scenario, Apple can drop from 226 to 100. Severe. Like, you don't want to try to make your living being right with that one, because you're going to be wrong zillions of times to the every now and then win. So maybe, but so Apple's at 226. So when do you get to a place where, yes, I can definitely get this. I can definitely get this. So it's 226. What is that? 220? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, your potential for I can definitely get this is very small shorting. Maybe is not frequent at all. And a lot of it's impossible. So when you're playing the short game from a mathematical point of view, you're a freaking loser. Now, short term is a different matter, but let's not talk about short term for the moment. It does change it a little bit. But you follow what I'm saying? Now, if I give you this example, smoke on this. Try to understand me here. Apple's at 226. And I say, all right, I'm going to buy Apple at 226. I am going to place a stop at 0. I'm going to place a stop at 0. What's the odds that I get stopped out? 0. And then I place a sell order at 300. So I buy at 226. Follow my example here. I buy at 226. I put a stop at 0, meaning I'm willing to hold Apple forever, receive the dividends. So what? But I pull a sell order at 300. You tell me, is that a winning trade? Is that a guaranteed winning trade? It's freaking guaranteed money, guaranteed win. There's no way I'm losing on that trade. Do you understand? I'm not losing because Apple's not going to 0. I'll sit for as long as it takes to collect the dividend. And one day, it might be a month from now, it might be December, it might be next year, it might even be the next year. That sell order will trigger at 300. Guaranteed win. I can't guarantee it within a specific time, but if I take time away, that's a guaranteed win. Now, I want you to think about applying that to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is, let's see, guys. Okay, Bitcoin is 61. All right, why don't I do this? Why don't I do this now? Can I do it? Give me a second here, guys. So let's do it. So if I do this, so I buy Bitcoin at 61 right here, 1 BTC. I put a sell order for Bitcoin, even though I wouldn't sell, at 500. And I put a stop at 0, which means I'm willing to hold it forever. All right? I will get 500 before I get 0. That's inevitable. We just talked about how inevitable that is. Half of 1% got it to 61. Half of 1%. Where's 3% going to get it to? Where's 10% going to get it to? Where's 40% adoption going to get it to? Where's 80% adoption going to get it to? That half of 1%, people, is not going down. That's going up. And so this is why shorting is dumb. All right, you short Bitcoin at 61. What are you going to get? Maybe 58? Okay. But you can get 500,000 if you remove time. Now, some people say, well, Oliver, that's not proper risk management. Well, it is proper risk management if you have reached the point of understanding that this is better than liquid gold. This is better than your most prime real estate on planet Earth. This is the scarcest, the hardest thing on planet Earth, the scarcest thing on planet Earth, soon to be the most valuable thing on planet Earth. And I'm never letting it go. Once you get to the place where I'm not letting it go, then you absolutely know 500,000 is here before 0. 1 million is here before 0. 10 million is here before 0. And I'm not playing with you. It's going up forever. The same way we are still forever experiencing internet adoption, the same we're experiencing commercial real estate adoption, car usership adoption. Shit, how old is the mathematics protocol? Do you know that mathematics is still being adopted? There's 250,000 new people born today that will use the math protocol. There's 250,000 new potential commercial airline flyers. There's 250,000 just today new users of the internet, 250,000 new Bitcoiners, cell phone owners, Bitcoin holders. It's going up forever, Laura. People haven't stopped to think about this thing. You know? I don't know why. I can't even. What's going on here? I don't see. Did I disconnect? Ah, shit. I disconnected. I lost the connection. Did I lose the connection? No, it's saying I'm live, but I don't know why I can't see myself. Let me see. I think I know what happened. Guys. I was just the audio file. Okay, no, I'll get it back. I will get it back. I know what I did here. I will get it back. Shoot. I've just got my I've got my platforms all freaking mixed up here. Crazy. Okay. All right, here we go. But I just don't know why am I I guess I lost my camera. I think I just lost my camera. But anyway, okay. So what I was trying to say, you get what I'm saying. If I buy Bitcoin at 61 here with a stop at 0 and a sell order at 500,000, it gets to 500,000 before it gets to 0. Now, if I add something to that plan and I will actually buy a new Bitcoin every 10,000 points down. So if it goes to 51, I'll buy another one. If it goes to 41, I'll buy another one. Now when it turns and heads toward that 500, I'm actually wealthier because it won't go to zero, but it will go to 500,000. When? That's the $64,000, the $61,000 question here, right? Yeah. So yeah, it's just very powerful. All right. Look at this. You said short Bitcoin. What's the name of the title of this thing? How can you ask me this? What's the name of the title? Why shorting Bitcoin is dumb as nails. Now, most people shouldn't short anything because they're not professionals, you know? Most people shouldn't. I wish I can get my face back up here, though. We don't want that one. We want this one. There we go. Boom. All right. Crazy. All right, guys. So, what else is going on? You guys know that, right? You know that um, we will end this year much higher than we are today. And you do know from my post that blast off time is October. It's October every single time. Like people say, Oliver, how can you be so sure? Like all I have is history to rely on, right? That's it. I have history. Yeah, but what about this or what about that? I don't know about that. I just know about what has happened. This is the thing, guys. And I put this in a post the other day as well. I put this in a post, right? Why is it? I've dealt with this for 40, 30 plus years teaching traders all over the world, guys. And there's this, I never truly understood and still don't to a certain extent today. I can't exactly put my finger on the pulse as to why human beings, and I speak about you as if I'm not a human being, because to be honest with you, to actually become successful as a market participant, you almost have to dehumanize yourself. All right. Your belief system changes, your thought processes change, and it's not the natural way that human beings feel and think and understand. It's very different. It's almost like you're reprogramming yourself to be not human, to think the natural human thing is to almost guarantee to be wrong and to lose in financial markets for the most part. Like, as an example, most people think that up is good and down is bad. And you see, that's not a professional thought at all. It's like down is good and up is not good. It's just the reverse. It's the reverse of what the natural human instinct would tell you. And it is, one can't achieve success in trading financial markets if you don't become unhuman this way, because you can only experience who you are in financial markets. If you're undisciplined, you can only experience the results of being undisciplined. The market is a mirror of who you are. You know, there's a saying that you have to become, if you want to be rich, you have to first become rich, and then you can be rich. And a lot of people won't get that. because it starts with you. You have to get rich first, then you can experience being rich. You have to become good first, then you can experience good results in the market. You have to first become disciplined, then you get results. You have to first be able to keep your word to yourself. I will never lose more than this on any given day. You have to first become a keeper of your word, then you get good results. You must first become better to get better results. And people are looking for better results without becoming better themselves. That's cheating. That's not proof of work. That's proof of stake. That doesn't work in the real world. You have to lose your life, then you gain your life. You have to squat, then you leap. You have to pull the bow and arrow back, then it goes forward. It's all over our freaking lives. That's the natural order of things. Down first, then you leap. Back first, then the arrow goes forward. You pull a trigger which way to shoot it. You pull it back, then you get forward trajectory. Down is good first, then you experience up. But what does the novice natural human being says? I want up first. I want to go forward first. That's not life. That doesn't happen. This is why they say in billions are made in the bear market, not in the bull market. And your average novice is not going to understand that. This is why, so most people do not have the capacity to do well in financial markets because they're too human. They operate on natural human instinct, and you have to actually operate in reverse. Okay. Bitcoin can teach you that by lengthening your time preference. It can teach you that down is good. It can teach you that time is okay. It can revolutionize the way you see what you used to see as negative as a positive. And it can transform who you are. And then and only then will you be able to get what you want. It first starts with you becoming different, you becoming changed, you becoming better, you becoming higher, you becoming smarter, you becoming more knowledgeable, you becoming more skilled, you becoming more educated, you gaining more information. All of that happens first, then the results happen. Do you realize how many people I come in contact with on a month-to-month basis over the last few decades of people who want success before they become experienced? Like, how does that even make sense? Like, Oliver, I want success Monday morning. I have no experience, by the way, but I want success Monday, and after I have success, I will become experienced. Wait, what? What galaxy are you from? Because here in this galaxy, where this planet Earth resides, it doesn't work that way. Success can't be before experience. That's shitcoinery. I want success for doing nothing. That's gambling. I want to get lucky. I don't want to be good. I want to be lucky. That's shitcoinery. That gets you nowhere in life but wrecked over time. You might get lucky once or twice, but your final resting place is the graveyard, I promise you. Success can only come after experience. There's no way to cheat that. So the time and investment is in becoming experienced. And then success is on the other side of experience, right? In everything. It's not before. And God help you if you get some measure of success before your experience, life takes that back and double and triple because it wasn't yours in the first place. You didn't earn it. There was no proof of work behind that. You got lucky. And luck has a huge price you ultimately have to pay for it, right? Bitcoin teaches you all of these things as well. It usually does not deliver its benefits and all of its glory until after you've gone through some stuff, gained some experience, use that time to go deeper down the rabbit hole, to become more knowledgeable, to get more information, to gain a deeper understanding of what you have, a deeper appreciation, and then the reward comes. It usually doesn't offer it right away. You know, and most people don't last. My father used to say, Oliver, listen, in order to win, he used to bore me to death, repeating this over and over again. Oliver, you know, in order to win, I say, I know, Dad, you have to last. That's right, Oliver. You can't win if you don't last. And you know what else he used to say? He used to further that. He's like, you can beat 85% of every human being on earth. You can be better than them just by lasting. You can outlast because most people won't last. You don't even have to be the best, just last. You will wind up being number one most of the time. In anything you do, Oliver, he would say, just last, just outlast everyone. They're going to start dropping over time. They'll start dropping like flies. And if you don't stop, you'll be the last man standing, number one. You weren't the best. You weren't the best skill. You weren't the most knowledgeable, but you lasted. And just because you lasted, you got number one. He used to tell me that. So you can win, Oliver, in life just by lasting. And then he would go on to one more leg of this and say, but imagine if you added to that just a little bit of skill, a little bit of study, a little bit of extra knowledge. If you just added that to lasting, you'd kill the world. And that's from my dad. Bitcoin teaches you to last. You outlast all the ridicule. You outlast your family thinking you're freaking crazy. Do you understand? You outlast the bear market and the comments coming at you left and right. Those feelings of doubt you outlast by deepening your knowledge, deepening your understanding of what this thing is, upping your conviction when it's the dark time and continuing to add. And that's the experience part first. You get that out of the way. And from that point onward, there's a point that you grow your experience, grow your knowledge, grow your information, grow your conviction. And then Bitcoin says, welcome, you're one of us now. Get in here real fast so I can shut the door. Boom, let those bozos stay out there. Bitcoin opens the door, but really fast. Come on in. Don't let anybody else in. Come on in. Closes the door real fast. They don't deserve anything. This is a very fascinating comment here by Ark. Oliver, have you ever thought that we don't choose Bitcoin, but that Bitcoin chooses us? Bitcoin chooses only very, very special types of people. I think there's some very powerful truth to that. You know, it reminds me of the age-old ancient adage that says I think it's a Chinese proverb, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And Bitcoin is a teacher. Anyone who's been in Bitcoin for any decent period of time and have gone down the rabbit hole will tell you that I have learned more with Bitcoin than anything in my life. It has taken me down so many different rabbit holes and tied certain things together that I never thought had relevance with each other, that had connectivity with each other. And I believe that that is true to a very large extent. I think that you can stumble on it. And if you don't quickly deserve it, then you'll treat it as if it's just like something else. And that's the error, people, that you will regret for the rest of your life. The error that you had it, but didn't respect it. And now that opportunity is gone forever. You'll never get it back. Oh, you'll be able to participate, but not like that. You'll be able to benefit, but not like that. You'll have self-sovereignty, but you won't have generational riches, generational life-changing existence. You'll always have access to Bitcoin, but will you have generational family bloodline changing access? Not so sure about that. Think of it like Manhattan real estate. Like you today can benefit from Manhattan real estate. You can go right now and there's real estate for sale in Manhattan, but not like it was during the land runs. They used to give that shit away for free. Then they would have low cost land runs. They would incentivize you to go to this new area and build your life, and we'll practically give you the property free. Not like that. We're in that now. We're in the phase where most Americans can still, if they really wanted to, get to one Bitcoin. But that's going away this cycle. Oh, yes. That's going away in the next freaking few months. You will never, most of you will never, ever be able to get one Bitcoin ever again in your life. Ever. Ever. Do you know, my mother used to say, Oliver, never say never, Oliver, because you never know. And I used to say as a boy, you just said never, Mom. And she's like, shut up, boy. You know what I'm saying. Never say never, Oliver. Well, Mom, sorry. I'm saying never. They will never again, ever. Never, 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 Mom. Most of them won't be able to get one Bitcoin again. Sorry, Mom. Never. In a few short months. In a few short months. Yeah. Can you speak to the Bitcoin models that are so widely discussed on Bitcoin? I think they're entertaining. I think that they garner the most attention when the Bitcoin community is largely frustrated by stop and go Bitcoin price activity, the crab walk, as it's commonly referred to, the back and forth, the backing and filling, the up and down, the crashes, the rallies back to the upside, the a lot of sound and fury signifying nothing. And these things become talking points that gain some popularity, most of their popularity during these times. I can't say they have zero value, because I think that some people find it more useful to have some type of framework to view something like Bitcoin through. So there are some benefits to these models in that regard. What triggers me is any model. I don't care, because all models are really part of the same team, the Bitcoin team. Where I think the models veer is when it's designed to teach you when to sell. People, there is no one in the past, not one, no person in the past that sold Bitcoin that wishes that's thankful that they did. The pizza guy, you don't think he wish he had the 10,000 Bitcoin? The person who bought their first home on the run up in 2013, when it broke 1,000, they had it at 30 cents. It broke 1,000. You know what? Going from 30 cents to over 1,000. Do you know how wealthy you can be? You think they're happy they did that? No. Do you think anyone that's selling today is going to be happy in a few months, in a couple years, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line? No. This idea that you're going to sell the top, I'm going to sell the top, Oliver, and then when it crashes, I'm going to buy the bottom. Yeah, right. In what world? In this one, no, but in what? Tell me what world that is that you're going to do that. Trust me, dude, you're not that good. You're not. And even if you were, you would fuck up the money when it's time to buy anyway. You wouldn't have it. You probably risk it on. You took the profits. You probably risked it, bought a house, bought a freaking car, did a trip around the world, you know, hung out with some girls. By the time the bottom is, you don't even have half of the money. Now, where are you? You always wind up with less. Nobody who sells Bitcoin repeatedly when they think it's the top winds up with more Bitcoin 5 years from now, more Bitcoin 5 years from now. It's always less and less and less and less. I have gone through virtually every single forum you can think of, and every single experience has been that. No one, I found no one who said, I'm glad I sold this. They may have said it at the time, but wound up ultimately being glad. No one. In a few short weeks, we will be at all-time new highs. That means that it was never smart to sell. In a few short weeks, it's still provable with the price today, but it's going to be provable 100%. In a few short weeks, at all-time new highs, you're going to look back and say, man, nobody should have sold. At 200, you're going to say, at 100,000 Bitcoin, you're going to say, nobody should have sold. At 150, you go, no one should have sold. At 200, no one should have sold. Then Oliver, but what about the declines? Billions are made on the way down. Stop thinking the down is bad. That's where you turbocharge your wealth for the next cycle. You don't sidestep that, you dive into that. You don't try to escape the down, you embrace the down, because the embracing the down catapults your future exponentially 4 years from now. We got to stop thinking about the moment and think 4 years out. What you're doing today, what your action today is hitting a domino. That 4 years from now, there's a 4 years worth of a row of domino. You hit the first one today, boom, and it knocks the second one down, and it does this 4 years. And on the fourth year, the last domino falls. Think about this. Right now, your action today is pressing a long row of dominoes. Now, it's a zigzaggy row of dominoes, but you can go right now, we can do this right now. Do it with me now. I want you to imagine a long, zigzaggy, up and down row of dominoes. We're sitting in front of the first one. Now, we hit the first one with a buy today. We buy Bitcoin. That's the first domino. It hits the second one. Now it's running. Now it's running. It's going to take 4 years for the last domino to fall. We can go to the last domino now. Let's do it. Now I'm at the last domino. You know where that is? Way higher than now. 4 years, I see. 4 years, I can see the last domino to fall. And I know it falls way higher than the one I just pressed. What else do you need to know? But Oliver, I need to know the exact penny. I want to know the exact penny where that last domino falls, or I don't play the game. Oliver, I don't play the game. I need to know the exact penny. This is ridiculous. You don't need to know the price of the last domino. All you need to know is that it's significantly higher than the first domino. That's all you need to know. We are too obsessed with these models to say we're going to get to 300, we're going to get to 200, we're going to get to 180, Fuck that. You know what matters? Being directionally correct, not being numerically correct. That's bullshit. Directionally correct is all we need. That is enough to change your family's life forever. Who cares what the number is? And that's where these models go wrong. They focus too much on a number, and they focus too much on creating this false notion amongst novices that they're expert, masterful traders are going to sell the top and buy the bottom. Bullshit. In your dreams. Then you wake up and realize, oh, I have no Bitcoin. That's your reality. Trying to do that bullshit. This is coming from, guys, look, I'm not an influencer. I'm a professional trader. 37 years professionally, 43, 44 years if you count the stupid years, the developmental years. And I am telling you that if I could trade it, you don't think I would? And I am also telling you in your face, you are not better than me. That I can guarantee. You are not better at the game of trading than me. And I'm telling you that if I could do it, I would. But I've run the math. I know the math. It can't be done. Not over time consistently. No, no, no. And let me just tell you this, and I'm going to close on this. If you ever find someone out there on Bitcoin Twitter, Reddit, whatever, wherever these guys hang out, right? You find anyone saying, man, yeah, for I've been in Bitcoin for several cycles and I bought the top and sold the bottom and wound up with way more Bitcoin than the hodlers. You know what? The only people, I can guarantee you this, the only people who have ever done that, there are some, the only people who've ever done that successfully, you know what they're called? Liars. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Liar, liar, liar. They're the only ones who've done it. There you go, guys. Eddie's saying, people shorting and are often using leverage and taking on additional risk. Yeah, but why would you short it without leverage? That doesn't even freaking make sense. Like, if you're going to short it, you got to use some leverage to short it because you can't get 100%. Whereas on the upside, you can do the upside without leverage because you can get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of percent. But shorting, we discussed that. You're going to get 30% max. And then with slippage and fees, you got to get lucky on the timing, slippage and fees, and the cost of your short. Then you take the tax hit on it. It doesn't even make sense. Guys, you realize that when you These people that want you to sell the Bitcoin top instead of just holding it and making yourself more Bitcoin rich on the way down. Because if you have more Bitcoin than you did yesterday, you're richer in Bitcoin terms. So think about this. If these people that want you to think that you should sell the top and escape the pullback, do you realize that you are, the moment you sell, if you are in a developed nation, the moment you sell, you are bringing upon yourself the vast majority of the bear market anyway through taxes. So some of you might have as much as a 40% tax. Well, what if Bitcoin has a 50% pullback? You just brought forward 40% of the 50% drop upon yourself, just like that. You sped up the bear market for yourself. Does that make sense? All right, but Oliver, it's long term. I have 20%. Okay, 20% then. You just fast forward 20% of the bear market? And what if it's only down 40%? And you could use that latter 20% to just ease in for more so that the next cycle, when Bitcoin adds another zero to itself, you're that much wealthier. Get out of the weeds, people. This is a generational play. Don't let people cause you to fuck this up for your family. You will not get another chance. I'm telling you. I'll leave you on that, guys. Ciao for now. All right. Love you to death. I love doing these things with you. All right. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. All right. You know what to do. Go to work. Stack harder. Go to work. Boom. Boom.